When it comes to sex, we've all heard the common belief that men are more into it than women. But is that really true? Could it be possible that women actually enjoy sex more than men? It's time to explore this topic and see what the truth is. From a young age, we're told that men have higher sex drives and that women are more reserved. Movies, books, and even conversations with friends reinforce this idea. Men are often depicted as the ones who are always ready and eager for sex, while women are shown as cautious and hesitant. But is this really based on fact, or is it just something we've been conditioned to believe over time? When we look beyond these surface-level portrayals, we start to see that sexual enjoyment is far more complex than the stereotypes suggest. Society often portrays men as the ones who are always in the mood, and women as those who need to be convinced. This creates an unbalanced view of sexuality and can make it seem like men enjoy sex more. However, much of this belief stems from societal expectations rather than biological differences. Women are frequently expected to prioritize emotional connections, while men are encouraged to embrace physical pleasure without hesitation. This cultural divide influences the way we perceive sexual enjoyment, making it appear as though men have a greater appetite for sex when, in reality, women's experiences may simply be less openly discussed. One reason why people think men enjoy sex more is that women aren't always as vocal about the desires. Many women have been taught to keep their sexual thoughts private, which can make it seem like they're less interested, but that's not necessarily true. Women often experience a deep, rich sexual desire that is influenced by various factors, such as emotional intimacy, self-confidence, and a supportive environment. When these factors align, women report high levels of sexual satisfaction, sometimes even exceeding men's experiences in terms of depth and fulfillment. On the flip side, men often feel pressure to always want sex and be ready at any moment. This pressure can make it difficult for them to admit when they're not in the mood, creating the illusion that men enjoy sex more. In reality, many men experience performance anxiety, stress, and emotional disconnect that can affect their sexual experiences. The constant expectation to be sexually dominant or virile can sometimes turn intimacy into a source of stress rather than pleasure. For many women, emotional intimacy plays a big role in sexual enjoyment. When they feel emotionally connected to their partner, they're more likely to fully enjoy sex. Men, on the other hand, may not need that same level of connection to experience pleasure, but that doesn't mean they don't value it. Studies have shown that men also enjoy sex more when they feel emotionally connected, but because they're socially conditioned to prioritize physical pleasure, their emotional needs may be overlooked. Biologically speaking, men and women experience pleasure differently. Women can have multiple orgasms, while men typically need recovery time after climaxing. This suggests that, in some ways, women might have the upper hand when it comes to prolonged sexual enjoyment. However, women's sexual pleasure is often more complex and requires more than just physical stimulation. Factors such as mental relaxation, emotional comfort, and external circumstances all play a significant role. Studies show that women's bodies are wired for pleasure, especially when they feel comfortable and confident. Women's sexual response involves multiple factors, including emotional well-being and self-image. A woman who feels good about herself and her body is more likely to enjoy sex than one who struggles with insecurity or self-doubt. The better women understand their own bodies and communicate their needs, the more fulfilling their experiences can become. Women who openly talk about the desires with their partners often report higher levels of sexual satisfaction. When women feel safe to express what they like, they can experience just as much, if not more, pleasure than men. Open and honest communication in relationships allows both partners to explore the desires without fear of judgment, ultimately leading to a deeper connection and more enjoyable sex. Research has found that men tend to orgasm more frequently than women during heterosexual sex. However, when women receive the attention they need, such as clitoral stimulation, their sexual satisfaction increases significantly. The orgasm gap is a well-documented phenomenon, but it doesn't necessarily mean that men enjoy sex more. Rather, it highlights the need for better understanding and prioritization of female pleasure. There's still a stigma around women openly enjoying sex. Men who talk about their sex lives are often praised, while women may face judgment. This double standard can make it seem like women enjoy sex less, when in reality, they may just not be as open about it. Women who break free from these societal constraints often report greater satisfaction and a more fulfilling sex life. In reality, women can and do enjoy sex just as much as men, sometimes even more. The difference lies in how each gender experiences pleasure and how comfortable they feel expressing the desires. Women's sexual pleasure is often more nuanced and influenced by various elements, whereas men's pleasure may be more straightforward but no less significant. Interestingly, studies show that many women enjoy sex more as they get older. With age comes confidence, self-acceptance, and a better understanding of what they like. Women often become more comfortable in their skin and more willing to explore the desires, leading to enhanced sexual enjoyment later in life. For men, the pressure to perform can sometimes take away from their enjoyment. Worrying about lasting long enough or doing it right can make sex more stressful than pleasurable. This expectation can lead to anxiety and even dissatisfaction, contradicting the idea that men always enjoy sex more than women. Women, on the other hand, often struggle with body image issues that can affect their enjoyment of sex. When they feel good about themselves, they're more likely to enjoy intimacy fully. Addressing these insecurities and embracing self-love can lead to a more satisfying sexual experience. TV shows, movies, and magazines often show men as the ones who are more eager for sex, but they rarely capture the full picture of female desire and pleasure. Women's sexuality is often oversimplified or ignored, reinforcing the myth that men enjoy sex more. Women's bodies are complex, and sexual pleasure often involves a combination of physical and emotional stimulation. Once women understand what works for them, their enjoyment can increase dramatically. Exploring one's desires without guilt or shame is key to unlocking greater pleasure. In some cultures, talking about female pleasure is still taboo, which can suppress women's ability to explore and enjoy their sexuality. In more open societies, women often report higher levels of sexual satisfaction, showing how cultural norms impact personal experiences. Confidence plays a huge role in how much both men and women enjoy sex. When women feel empowered and in control of the desires, they're more likely to experience higher satisfaction. Feeling comfortable in one's own skin can make all the difference. Ultimately, the key takeaway is that sexual enjoyment is not a one-size-fits-all experience. Some women may enjoy sex more than some men, and vice versa, depending on a variety of factors, including their personal experiences, upbringing, and relationship dynamics. The important thing is to foster open, honest conversations about sexuality, free from judgment and preconceived notions.